In the next few minutes, you're going to discover why your current mindset is keeping you stuck, the neuroscience studies that show why some people bounce back from failure while others give up, and the word trick backed by neuroplasticity research that can help you rewire your brain for success. Research shows that students with growth mindsets score higher on perseverance measures and achieve better outcomes across academics, work, and sports. So we'll cover the two types of mindsets that Carol Dweck's research revealed, how to spot your fixed mindset triggers, and most importantly, the practical steps that you can take right now to start shifting towards growth. By the end of this video, you're going to never look at challenges the same way again. Hey everyone, it's Jay with Life Next Level, here for another video in our series From Stuck to Thriving, which will be going on for the next few months. I think it's going to be a great series. I hope you tune in. Hit subscribe if you want more and more. We're going to get you unstuck. We're going to build a foundation, and then we're going to get you thriving. It's going to be great, and I'm going to be along for the ride. But getting back to this topic, let me ask you something. When was the last time you avoided something because you thought you weren't good enough? That avoidance is not protecting you. It's actually revealing something that most people don't even know they have, a hidden prison that your mind built. So the invisible barrier, this hidden prison that we were talking about, is not your circumstances or your background. It's what researchers call entity beliefs. It's the conviction that your intelligence, your talents, your skills are fixed traits that can't really change. When you operate from this mindset, you either have it or you don't. Here's where it gets concerning though. This belief system creates a mental prison where you avoid challenges because failure means you're not good enough. You give up easily when things get tough because struggling means you lack the natural ability. You see effort as proof that you're not smart enough rather than the path to getting better. Picture this in real life. There's the person who won't try learning guitar because they're not musical. There's the person who won't start a business because they're not the entrepreneur type. The student who, they get bad grades, right? So they're just not a math person. These examples really show these entity beliefs in action. The assumption that abilities, again, are unchangeable rather than developable through practice. Carol Dweck's research at Stanford University, I'm sure you've heard of her. She's the mindset lady for sure. Her research revealed something incredible about how these beliefs affect our brains. Studies show that people with entity beliefs have lower engagement in error monitoring brain regions when they face challenges. Research measuring error positivity responses found that those with fixed beliefs show reduced neural activity in areas crucial for learning from mistakes. I know I said a mouthful there, but I think that you're catching on. Belief triggers activate the limiting system in specific situations. Evaluative situations like tests or presentations trigger it. High effort tasks that require sustained work activate it. Criticism from others fires it up. Even seeing others succeed can trigger these feelings of inadequacy and the urge to give up. I've had it. I'm sure you may have felt it as well. Here's the shocking truth, though, that most people miss. They have no idea they're operating from entity beliefs. They think they're being realistic about their limitations when they're actually creating their limitations. They mistake their current abilities for their permanent potential. But successful people think about their abilities in a completely different way. They don't see their current skills as the end of the story. They view them as a starting point. They operate from what Dweck calls incremental beliefs, the understanding that abilities grow through effort, through learning, and through persistence. The entity mindset hijacks your potential before you even start trying. But here's where it can get interesting. Your brain isn't actually wired to stay this way forever. So let's talk about the success code that can change everything for you. What if I told you there's a simple shift in thinking that transforms how you handle every challenge in your life? This shift is called growth mindset. I'm sure you've heard the terminology. And it's the complete opposite of everything we just talked about. Everything we just talked about boils up to a fixed mindset. What you need, what we all need, is a growth mindset. If we want to grow, if we want to live that life that we love, we have to start living with a growth mindset, taking on challenges and doing these little things to grow. Growth mindset is literally the belief that your abilities can be developed through effort, through learning, and through persistence. Instead of seeing your current skills as permanent and stuck, you view them as your starting point. This fundamental difference changes everything about how you can approach life. Here's the contrast that'll really blow your mind. While fixed mindset people avoid challenges because they might fail, growth mindset people seek them out as opportunities to get better. They don't see a difficult task as a threat to their ego, but as a chance to expand their abilities. This difference can really show up in how these two types of people respond to the exact same situations, which the next video is going to be a good example of this. When someone with a fixed mindset fails, they see it as proof that they're not good enough. When someone with a growth mindset fails, they see it as feedback about what to try next. They use it to grow. Fixed mindset people take criticism as a personal attack, while growth mindset people see it as coaching that helps them to improve faster and be better. For growth mindset people, effort becomes the path to mastery instead of a sign of weakness. They understand that struggling doesn't mean you lack ability. It means you're pushing your current limits to expand them. You're getting out of your comfort zone and into your growth zone. The neuroscience research backing this up is pretty incredible. Psychological science found that growth mindset individuals had greater amplitude, indicating that they pay more attention to mistakes and stay more receptive to the feedback. Their brains actually show better connectivity in areas responsible for learning and self-control. Take Mark Cuban, as we all probably know, as a great example. As Cuban recalls, by putting in effort, he could learn almost anything, which gave him a competitive advantage. Cuban figured out that learning in of itself is a skill, and by continuing to learn, he could compete and get ahead of most people. You see this growth mindset in action. You see it everywhere once you know what to look for, within yourself and within others. Entrepreneurs pivot after business failures instead of giving up. Students practice harder after poor test scores. Athletes train more intensely after losses. They all see setbacks as information and gathering rather than judgments about their worth. Growth mindset people literally see criticism as a gift instead of an attack, and they take it great. When others succeed, they don't feel threatened. They feel inspired because someone else is showing success, and their success shows what is possible. This aligns with research showing persistent effort rewires brain networks for self-regulation. Growth mindset people see abilities as developable, turning every single obstacle they see into a stepping stone towards their goals. Now, you could be thinking, this sounds great, but how do you actually make this shift when your brain seems wired for a fixed approach? The answer lies in understanding exactly how this transformation can happen. So let's call this next section the brain rewiring blueprint. Scientists have actually tracked these brain changes using EEG and MRI technology, with research showing increased connectivity in the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex after mindset training. Thanks to neuroplasticity, experience-dependent changes strengthen synaptic connections, allowing your brain to literally build new pathways that support growth thinking. I know that was in-depth, a lot of terminology there, but it's just essentially when you're put in these situations, when people with a growth mindset are put in these situations, it actually formulates new neural pathways in your brain to learn this method and to take feedback and criticism and grow. This research shows that people with growth mindset have higher error positivity responses, meaning they pay more attention to mistakes, stay more open to feedback that helps them to improve. Your mindset isn't permanent because your brain can be rewired through specific practical strategies like we just kind of discussed. Here's the challenge most people face. They try to change their mindset through just willpower alone, which does not work because they're fighting against ingrained brain patterns. You can't just decide to think differently and expect it to stick. You need specific techniques that work with how your brain actually changes. So, let's talk about linguistic framing interventions, such as the word yet, have been shown to shift mindset in classroom studies. This language priming supportation, neuroplastic adaptation by helping your brain see current limitations as temporary rather than permanent. You also need to identify your personal fixed mindset triggers. These are specific situations that make you want to give up or you avoid challenges in real time. Maybe it's public speaking. Maybe it's learning new technology. Maybe it's asking for help. Once you can identify these and once you know your triggers, you can catch yourself before the fixed mindset takes over. The practical steps involve embracing challenges as growth opportunities instead of threats. So, in starting to do that from a fixed mindset state, it can take a little time. But once you start to do that, challenges don't give you so much stress. You look forward to them. Feedback doesn't upset you so much, and you take it as coaching. It takes a little time, but when you start to reframe these situations like that, it's a huge help. So embrace challenges as growth opportunities instead of threats. Huge. Celebrate effort over results. When you work hard on something, acknowledge that effort regardless of the outcome. Learn from criticism instead of avoiding it. Each piece of feedback becomes information about what to try next, what you can do next to succeed. Here's how to reframe failures as data collection rather than personal judgments. Each mistake becomes information about what doesn't work so you can adjust your approach. Instead of thinking, I failed because I'm not good enough, think, this attempt gave me data about what to try next time. Research published in Social Cognitive Affective Neuroscience, it's actually a thing you can look at, found that growth mindset creates better connectivity between brain regions responsible for learning and self-control. A 4-week mindset coaching program actually changes brain activation in areas tied to memory, to motivation, and to cognitive control. Just 4 weeks. The research proves really that the brain is like a muscle that grows stronger and smarter when it undergoes rigorous learning experience. But here's what really matters about everything we've covered today. Your mindset is not just a way of thinking. It's the operating system that determines whether you'll achieve your goals or whether you'll stay stuck in these same patterns. The system runs in the background of everything you do, making decisions about what's possible for you that whole time. Right now, I want you to understand one area of where you've been operating from a fixed mindset. Maybe it's fitness, maybe it's relationships, or maybe it's your career. Commit to approaching it with growth thinking rather than a fixed mindset starting today. Add yet to your limitations. Embrace the challenge ahead instead of avoiding it. When you have the opportunity, embrace that challenge and go for it. Remember the 4 triggers: evaluations, high effort, criticism, and other success. Those are the 4 triggers that it will trigger you. Sal Khan, the founder of Khan Academy, I'm sure you've heard of it, credits adopting a growth mindset with his success in revolutionizing education. Neuroscience shows you can build new pathways with practice. Just start practicing it and start today with simple stuff. If you're ready to practice the growth mindset today, type your yet statement in the comments below and get to work. Let's grow. Let's get this growth mindset going. It might take a little time, but it's ultimately super important. I appreciate you being here today. A lot of good information in here, and we'll have a follow-up video to this showing you some more examples about fixed versus growth mindset. Appreciate you again. It's Jay with Life Next Level signing off. I hope you have a great day.